So, as you live life, you go through different stages, and when you're at different points of your life, i.e. your age, you go through certain stages, and you go through certain changes, and you start to view things differently, and the people in your life start to view things differently, and you would think that because you're at different points in your life, you want to go about things differently. You understand, because you're getting closer to the standing ovation. You realize what really matters, right? You would think that, and that's not always the case. For some people. When you reach a certain point in life, when you've survived on this earth at over a certain amount of time, right? You develop, habits and ways and a track record and a reputation, right? And so this new word called hypergamy. It's not necessarily a new word, but it's newly trending, right? When you talk about hypergamy, whereas don't get me, I don't feel like looking it up. Hypergamy, whatever the definition is whatever it is. Okay, cool, you got it. But basically, to me, in short, the way I take it, the definition of hypergamy is basically monkey branching and leveling up, whether you're a man or a woman. You know what I'm saying? Just laddering up to whatever it is that you're looking for, right? When you reach a certain age, there's only but so much ladder you can climb. You know what I mean? And you got to be realistic with yourself at some point. Now, men and women are hypergamous to some degree. You know what I'm saying? Men and women are hypergamous to some degree. I think men are typically more occupationally hypergamous, whereas women are more romantically hypergamous, because a woman doesn't have the physical stature of a man to get out there and lay bricks and do construction, and you know what I'm saying. Typically, you know what I'm saying, she has kids, and her body wears down, and you know what I'm saying, and she has hormonal changes and things of that nature. So if she can't sit down in an office, she'd like to be able to sit down at home with her children, and so quote unquote living off of a man ain't so bad for a woman. You know what I mean? For a woman, according to nature, you know what I'm saying, it ain't so bad. But for a woman to be hypergamous, for a woman to kind of monkey branch and try to level up, it doesn't always serve them in the best way. And I'm gonna explain. So, like, if a man were to, like, okay, the way men date, when you look at nature in men, sex isn't guaranteed for a man. You know what I mean? A man's DMs ain't buzzing unless he's like the top of the top, you know what I'm saying, or unless he's that guy. His DMs ain't buzzing like that in the ways that a woman is. You know what I'm saying? His Cash App ain't buzzing like a woman's Cash App would be buzzing. You know what I'm saying? Most guys, right? And so he has to just take what he can get, or he has to be on the hunt. He has to be on the prowl, And however, it would be more suitable for a man to chase money instead of chasing pussy. You know what I mean? Because most dudes who chase pussy end up being broke, which is counterintuitive, right? Because then if you broke, how much pussy can you get? You know what I'm saying? But that's a different argument. That's a different conversation. So a guy can't follow his nature as much as he would like to. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he wants to chase pussy, but he don't want to be broke. You know what I mean? And in the same way, a woman can say, oh, well, you don't make enough. Oh, you only drive that. You could be that way, but then, look at you, sis. What purpose? What purpose are you serving? You turn down this guy, you turn down that guy, you turn your nose up at this guy, you turn your nose up at that guy, and none of these guys were good enough for you. If a woman can't, like, it doesn't serve a woman to be that way, right? So in the same way, a guy can't, live for chasing pussy, a woman can't live for being hypergamous. You know what I mean? Now, yes, it is by nature for us to seek the best suitors, the best fit and qualified suitors to progenate, if that's a word, to progenate the species. Yes, that is a biological imperative, right? Designed by God. Yes. But when you reach a certain age, how many more guys can you keep turning down? You know what I mean? A lot of people hate the word settling. I'm just going to sit that right there. I said it. Settling. At some point in your life, you are going to have to settle. You are going to have to settle. Now, yes, you can settle up. the same way in your 20s and 30s you were settling up. Yes, in your 40s and 50s you can. I mean, the same way in your 20s and 30s you were leveling up is the same way in your 30s, your 40s and 50s you can settle up. You know what I mean? But at some point, you are going to have to settle. I said it. Yes, confront your fears. Look the dragon in the face. Look the dragon in the eyes. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, what it is. Because when you reach us, from the minute you come out the gate, you know what I'm saying, the gun goes off. And the minute that horse leaves the stable, and you're old enough to, and you enter the dating market, whatever teen age you were, you know, the musical chairs is being played. The musical chairs is being played. Now, it's not typical in a woman's brain to look ahead, and you know, women aren't hardwired, you know what I'm saying, to have that kind of vision, that foresight. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you know, it's not absolute. Of course, yes, there are some women who have that talent, but most women, biologically, most women are not hardwired to have that to have foresight and be able to think ahead and look ahead. You know what I'm saying? That's why men are bred to be leaders. That's why men are biologically set to be leaders. You know what I'm saying? Leadership is not in a woman's place biologically. Argue with your nose. Get out my face. I don't care. And so when you've been playing musical chairs all through your 20s, all through your 30s, and then when you reach your 40s or you surpass your childbearing years, you spent the last 20 years with the music still playing. So you at some point you kind of forget or don't think that the music is gonna stop. You know, but when it does, and when the music stops, when the musical chair stops, and you look around and there's only but so many chairs left, or no chairs at all, you know what I'm saying? This is where, you know, as they talk about the wall, this is the proverbial wall that they talk about. Oh, hell no! You know what I mean? You know, it's like life has a way of sitting you down. Life has a way of sitting you down and humbling you. The same humbling that women talk about, that, oh, they just want to humble us. They hating on you. You doing your thing and they hating on you. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? You doing your thing. You being hypergamous, and that's great. You turning down this guy and that guy, but the music is going to stop playing. The music is going to stop playing. And this is where the settle word comes in. What are you going to settle for, sis? You're going now. If you've been married, and married people, shit. Because with the way the divorce rate is now, you know what I'm saying, married people just divorcing willy-nilly. They're gonna have to settle too. Because if you're married, you know what I'm saying, you got somebody, right? So regardless of whether the music stops, the musical chair stops or not, it doesn't affect you. But it's once you get divorced, the musical chairs affects you. You back to the street, sis. You out chair. Out chair. You know, and you think you're gonna go back to square one, but you're going back to square none. And then I get it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women are too proud to say they fucked up. They're too proud to tuck their tail and, you know what I'm saying, and go and come back. You know what I'm saying? They're too proud. I get it. That's too much to ask. That's too embarrassing. That's too much egg on your face. Hell no. Like, nah. Oh, hell no. I get it. You know what I mean? But, and then for a lot of women that, you know, if you're watching this right now and, you know, the music has stopped for you, you know, now, yes, you're a woman. You have a vagina. You can sneeze a penis. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Cool. You got it. You're a woman. I get it. You know what I mean? But when you talk about wanting more, what is more? What is more? There ain't no more. Ain't no more. You know what I'm saying? This is why I put this picture up. You see how she's sipping that straw? She's like, shout outs to Candy Burris. She makes the best memes. You see how she's sipping that straw? Ain't no more. Ain't no more. What is this more that you're looking for? You've come this far. You spent the last 20 years playing musical chairs, and now you're beyond your childbearing years. You know what I'm saying? And if anyone is watching my previous videos, you know how I feel about the concept of marriage when it comes to starting a family. If you're not starting a family, if it's just you and that motherfucker, why are you getting married if you're not starting a family? Like, you know what I'm saying? Come on, I said it. But, you know, what more are you looking for? You're gonna dump that guy, you know what I'm saying, to find a new guy for what? To do the same thing with that new guy that you did with the last guy? What is the more? There is no more. Like, come on. There is no more. You have to settle at some point. The musical chairs is gonna stop. I don't know any other way to put it.